On my channel, I've done my fair bit of criticism of Man City and Pep Guardiola recently. I've talked about it in real life, with friends, and all of that. So, what is one of the most common answers you hear, you think? Well, you'd actually be surprised that a lot of people say, we deserve a bad season. Which just seems so dumb to me. I'm sorry, I'm not calling the people who say it's dumb. I'm just saying that that argument itself is dumb. Because just think about it for like 5 whole minutes. Because I'm sure that these people who say this don't actually think about it. Now, we all have things that we say without thinking about it, right? But if you're one of these people, just follow my train of thought for 5 minutes. Manchester United, we're starting with Man United, yes, gets a new manager after 30 goals. And I'm already gonna hear it. Different circumstances, yes, it is different circumstances. But I'm following a train of logic here. Man United got a new manager, David Moyes. He doesn't do well in his first season. Lay off him a bit. You should give him time. You should allow him. Don't worry, everything will be okay. And then you wait 2 seasons, and then 3, and then it's too long. And the same can be said with a successful manager who has proven it in the past. When a manager starts just becoming complacent, which this is, you have to criticize it. You simply have to criticize it. You cannot say that you deserve time off. Now, should you sack a manager simply because they don't win a trophy in a single season? Maybe. There are teams, Club Brugge has sacked, 7, 8 managers in the past 10 seasons? But has also won a trophy in each of those 10 seasons. So, Club Brugge is sacking managers who win trophies because they're not happy enough with the performances. That is completely fair because it has helped Brugge get a 3-peat, which they otherwise never would have, by the way. It helped them get 4 in 5, which they otherwise never would have. You can't just say, because a manager has done well in the past, they deserve to perform less well this season. You can't say that because a team has done better in the past that they deserve to have an off season. You're not gonna win the league every year, I know that. There's no single situation where a team wins 20 league titles in a row. Bayern München, which was insane in itself, it did 11 times in a row. Did they do it 12 times? No, because Bayer Leverkusen won the league title. You can't keep winning. At some point you're gonna falter. But that is not okay. It is not okay to falter simply because you know it's gonna happen. At some point, what is gonna break out? What is inevitable? It's an aspect of human nature. That doesn't mean it's okay for there to be wars. At some point, people will have fights. That doesn't mean it's okay for people to fight with each other. At some point, friendships will have sour moments. Every relationship, every marriage, people just hate each other for a while. You make up again. Everything becomes better. Well, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you get divorced, but let's not get into that. It's not okay for something to become worse simply because it used to be very good, because you expect it to become better again. It is not okay. It might become better again, but you have to put effort into making things better from the state in which they are. That is true in football as well. Just because Man City can't win the league title every year doesn't mean it's okay for Man City not to win the league title every year. The same is true with every football club, by the way, or like all the big clubs who are gunning to win the league title. You can't win it every year, that is true. That doesn't mean it's okay to not go into the mentality of you're gonna win it every year. You have to prepare and be set up to win titles. Like at the end of the day, yeah, anyone who says you deserve an off season after winning the treble, I'm sorry. This is the treble fatigue argument, yeah? What treble fatigue are you talking about? Genuinely, what treble fatigue are you talking about? Because treble teams almost always win the league title the season after they win the treble. So what treble fatigue are you talking about? Like, this is another one of those myths, yeah? It's not okay to get worse simply because you were better. You will get worse. Like, you can't win double trebles. It just seems impossible. Maybe one day it will be done. By a team who has the mentality of it must be done. Because that's, quite frankly, the mentality you need to do it. But maybe one day it will be done. No one has ever done a double treble. You can't blame a manager at the end of the season for saying, oh, you didn't win the double treble. But what you can do is say, you could have done this better, you should have done this better, and here and here and here was not good enough, that needs to be better. And you can say, like for example, Kyle Walker should be gone. You can't say Kyle Walker should be gone. You can't say Foden is not good enough right now. You can't say Matheus Nunes, our best winger, is not good enough. You can't say the defense is not good enough. You can't say Pep Guardiola is not performing well enough. Even if you can't expect to win it every year. And that is true for every football club. Because really, what standards do we live to? What standards do we live to? If not for striving for perfection. Is perfection possible? No. But what else are we gonna strive for? Like generally, what are we gonna strive for if not perfection? Nothing. So we need to have something to set a standard on, to set a goal on. We can't just accept being worse because we were better. Again, I repeat myself for the dozenth time. You cannot win the league title every year. That doesn't mean you should act like you can't win it every year. You should act like we're gonna win it this year, and then next year you should act we're gonna win it this year again. When you're a big club, every single year, you have to be worried about winning the league title, about doing what must be done to win a league title. And if at the end of the season, yeah, you did everything that you should have done, but still did not win that league title, because someone else did that too, and they got maybe that tad bit of more luck than you did, fair enough. Fair enough. But here we're not talking about the same thing. With Man City, we are not talking about the same thing. We're talking about a club who did not make the correct transfers. We're talking about a manager who is not making the correct decisions, game-wise. And we're talking about a team where many players are underperforming. You cannot get complacent. You simply can't. There's so many different ways that I could track this argument. I could repeat myself 1,000 times for an hour here in this video. I'd just be saying the same stuff but differently, right? By just pulling up a ton of examples. But here's the thing, yeah? There is the quote. Don't rest on your laurels. It means something. It means something. Teams who have rested on their laurels, they collapse. It's that simple. They collapse. They don't reach the same heights that they once did anymore. Man United is an example. Man City can very well become that. People feel confident in where they are at the moment, but that confidence is false. You do not stay on the top unless you fight damn hard to be on the top. You have to be fighting tooth and nail, yeah, to stay on the peak. Because everyone is trying to push you off that peak. It's like a king of the hill battle. You can't just take a nap in the middle of it. People are trying to take your spot. You have to keep fighting. You have to keep fighting until you win. And if you lose, oh well, you go again next year and you try to win your spot back. But you can't sleep on the hill, can you now? You can't sleep on the hill. So when people say it is okay, no, it's not okay. Maybe it's unfortunate. Maybe it sucks. Maybe you are just not good enough, but it is not okay simply because you are not good enough or anything like that. It is not okay. Maybe you don't have to sack a manager. Maybe you do. That has to all be evaluated separately. But it is not a single time, ever, where it is okay to be worse than you once were. You always have to become better, and if you can't, everyone fails. Does that mean it's okay to fail? No, absolutely not. Like, put it in business terms. A company generates a revenue, or let's say profits, by the way, because revenue can be a bit confusing for people who don't know a lot about business. Let's just choose profit. I think everyone understands that, right? Let's say a company generates a profit of 1 million. The next year they produce 2 million. The next year they produce 3 million. And the year after that they produce 4 million. But then they suddenly produce 1 million again. Is that okay? Well, you could say inflation and deflation at that point, I suppose, but let's assume that the inflation rate is a perfect 0% here. That is not okay. Simply because you tried your best doesn't make it okay, and simply because you still made profit doesn't make it okay. You have to grow your company, right? Especially if you make losses. Like, let's say that 1 million turns into 500k and then into losses. Well, now you're in trouble. You can't say, oh, we deserve an off year. You think your boss is gonna accept that. You think your boss is gonna see you sitting there, feet up in the air, like this, bro. That's wrong, but you think your boss is gonna see you sitting there like this, and you tell them, I deserve an off year because I netted a profit of, 1 million last year. Your boss is gonna look at you and say, do your fucking job or you're fired. Why is it different than football? Football is a business at the end of the day. Just saying. Like it or not, football is a business. That is Oh, come on. That is becoming ever more clear in recent times, isn't it? So, why do we pretend that it is not? Why do we pretend that these things are okay? Maybe you don't, maybe you do. But I'm just saying it's a dumb argument. You're not dumb for saying it, you just probably didn't actually think about it. But it is a dumb argument, and I don't ever want to fucking hear it. If your best argument for us being shit is, and defending players is, they deserve an off season, no they don't. They really don't. Thank you for watching to the end. Like and subscribe if you haven't already yet. We're so close to 500. Please help us get to 500 by the end of the year. That is the goal. 500 by the end of the year. And I'll see you guys on the next one, I suppose. Not sure what else I can touch upon. Complacency is bad. Don't rest on your laurels. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.